I don't know if there's any such thing really as pillars of rock and roll, least of all Pink Floyd.
Did did Richard Branson really feel you would have been a good match for Devo? And had he asked you, would you have fancied it?
I don't know about this. I mean, the lead bloke in Devo, I met him a couple of years ago, and he
Mhm.
was telling me that story, and that was the first I'd heard of it. I
Yeah,
know that Virgin wanted to sign Devo. I know that they were in Jamaica at the same time I was signing things up for Frontline,
yeah,
but I never put the two together,
right.
not in any way. And it was kind of upsetting him saying that he thought he was going to be kicked out as the lead singer and front man, and that I'd waltz in and take that space. As I said to him, look, I don't wear pots on my head. It's not my thing. What a lovely
Um,
chap he turned to be. But I'm sorry that he feels that that's what was going on. It certainly wasn't with my permission or ambition.
right,
And
right.
I love Devo. Oh, absolutely. That was skate band number one.
Yeah, brilliant band, absolutely brilliant band. Interesting. With Pill's album Metal Box,
Do you feel the Viagra Boys are a Devo of sorts?
I think they could be. Yes.
The videos kind of, I'm getting used to them now, and I can see a plot in it. And I see it's highly like orchestrated. But
Yeah.
very, very, it's a great album, and it's extremely well played with an off-kilter touch. It's really
Mm.
odd. It's
Yeah.
clever stuff, but it's calculated.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Public Image Limited, the Metal Box album, who produced that, and why is the vocals so low in the mix on some of the songs? Was that by design?
Yeah, we all did. There were engineers. I had a big row with one who worked with the Rolling Stones, and that wasn't impressing me none. Uh, we wanted as much bass heavy as we could get,
Mhm.
uh, and something had to give. And I was quite happy to say, well, we should drop the vocals, but this should just resonate on a purely bass platform. And that's what it did. And I remember, you can't play it. No speakers can handle it. So, ah, get a better hi-fi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Improve the world. Don't fucking readjust just to fit an old dance set.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they used to say in the early days of vinyl, they could get the bass resonances too low because the needle would jump from
Yeah,
jump from
yeah,
the
yeah,
vinyl.
yeah, yeah. Well, they had trouble pressing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But fuck it, that's what we wanted. We all produced that ourselves in the end, and a lot of it had to be done using spare studio time. And I've got the Jam and Paul Weller for this to thank. They'd always go home after their sessions, so we'd sneak in at 10 p.m. and be there till 6 a.m.,
Right.
but
Right.
always doing monitor mixes, not full desks, so they wouldn't know.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Um,
God, he must hate me for this. He's been trying to put me down again lately. Oh, you
he
silly.
hasn't. What's he been saying?
I don't know. I can't remember. It was so innoxious. Oh,
Mm.
I've changed. I didn't bother to find out how from him because he certainly don't know me.
No, no. You
And,
weren't a
and
fan at
again,
the Jam?
he'd be one of these people that would fear change, be forever want to be stuck in the same old boots.
Yeah, yeah.
For
You,
me, I don't. It's not change. It's you've got to evolve.
yeah, yeah.
You've got to be
Hey,
aware of your times and your situations, which will alter you one
mm,
way or another. And current activities are an absolutely favourable way of helping you write songs.
yeah. Were you a fan of the Jam?
About as much as I love Keir Starmer.
Oh, that much, eh? God, Keir Starmer. We have to live with him over here. You're in Los Angeles.
I know, but isn't it the internet wonderful that I can keep in touch with everything on the domestic scene and all of this?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I've got an abscess, right? It's difficult for me to blow my nose and it's swelling. I don't have any antibiotics. I can't get to a doctor because we're suffering mudslides this season,
Right.
which means the main highway is blocked. So I'm basically isolated and in pain. And I drank all my alcohol yesterday
Oh dear.
doing an interview about accordions.
Accordions? Why?
How could I resist? It's
Oh,
one of the most repulsive instruments in the whole world. You know, I grew up listening to Irish show bands and I hated it. Combined, particularly if it's done up in Scotland. Oh, fuck
yeah,
off, you lot. You're mad.
yeah,
An accordion with bagpipes has to be what hell is, right? If there was a
mhm,
soundtrack.
yeah.
But when put with an acoustic guitar playing there, plonk, 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 can't stand it,
No.
right? It kills the violin, which to me would be the fiddle, and I love fiddle playing.
Hmm.
But there is a rescue for the accordion, and that's anything done by my gypsy cousins. Anything from the Caucasus. Uh, oh, not Poland, because polka is just that really is unacceptable.
Yeah, yeah,
But is that it's just the mannerisms of the playing of it that can
yeah.
drive me crazy.
Yeah.
So I know I don't mean to flood you with that. You know, we could go on for as long as you like. I just thought it was an amusing ditty to share. See, I was like sitting here in isolation with a.
Yeah, I mean, the accordion is just, I don't know. I mean, I've never liked the sound of, I'm not keen on bagpipes either, to be honest with you. You're not a fan of those, are you?
Mm, yeah, well, I used it once because
What,
I
bagpipes
had
or the
one,
accordion?
and it was a guy called Jebin who I worked with, and he gave me his dad's accordion because he'd given it up, but he was Jewish, so I knew that the Jewish style of playing accordion was more acceptable than.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and so I used it on In the Sun and on the Psychopath album
yeah,
in very, very different, interesting ways. And of course, it's not for left-handed people, so it's left me out right from the start. There's a fucking problem,
yeah, absolutely.
but I found a way of finding wonderful sonorous tones. I, I'm very into like Irish drones and tones,
Yeah, yeah.
sonorous rhythms
And that might
that
be
just
your
web in and
background.
out.
Haven't you got a bit of
Pardon?
Irish in you or something, or is it?
Oh yeah, no, full on Paddy blood,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um,
but
what?
absolutely English.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is, that's where I was born and raised, and proud to say so.
Yeah, absolutely. Bob Geldof has described Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon as one of the classic pillars of rock and roll. Would you violently disagree with him?
Yes, just because it's him. I I always have fun rowing with Bob. He does such daft things, and he always wants to be taken so seriously.
Mhm.
What a daft thing to say. I don't know if there's any such thing really as pillars of rock and roll, least of all Pink Floyd.
Mhm.
My God, maybe just the Sid Barrett period.
Mhm.
Right? That was definitely closer to rock and wacky roll. But
Mhm.
no, I like Dark Side of the Moon myself.
Not
Right?
very rock and roll.
But I wouldn't call it rock and roll. I
No.
don't know if it had a title back then. I remember it just being an absolutely different sense of rhythm and pause and poise that was quite nice landscapes when I was experimenting with LSD.
Yeah, yeah. Did that go down well with the Floyd? Listening to Floyd and LSD?
I think so, yeah. I preferred them live than the records.
Yeah.
because you get awfully frustrated sitting in your bed, your mum and dad banging on the room door, and you're hallucinating out of your tree. You want a bit of excitement.
Yeah.
I'm a Gummer was a great
Yeah. Yeah.
piece of work that gave me the energy and reminded you that these blokes grew up on three chords.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, Interesting, actually. I read you stated that Public Image, the name was taken from a book by Public Image by Muriel Spark.
Yeah.
You said you see parallels between the character of this novel, who, in your own words, wrecks everyone around her. Do you
Mm.
see parallels with the main character in your persona of Johnny Rotten?
No, I was well aware of the book and I loved it very much, by the
Mhm.
way.
Yeah.
But it was all about the main character's quest for stardom absolutely destroyed everybody. Very much like A Star is Born. But, that's a much more elaborate way of looking at it. But the public image of the woman absolutely destroyed her private life. And I've made sure that would never be the case. And
Yeah.
so it was public image limited,
Oh,
limited,
I see.
limited, right?
Yeah.
Don't go extracurricular on it. Keep to your family, your roots, and your sense of values.
Yeah.
But above all else, don't have morals because that implies religion. Heaven forbid.
Yeah. You don't want to go down that road.
No, I'm
Um,
amazed to read Wobble was going on about finding Jesus.
who was finding Jesus?
Wobble.
Oh, okay.
I just, wow, I thought, you car salesman, you. What are you up to now?
Oh, dearie me. Um, Interesting. There's one controversy is that you say Rick Wakeman tried to get you kicked off the A&M label. Uh,
Yeah,
he
him and
denies it,
Steve Harley.
and Steve Harley. I spoke to Steve Harley. They both deny it. He says
Mm.
Rick Wakeman says it was a publicity stunt, probably derived by the record company to drop the Pistols. Could he be right?
He could be. He could be. At which point, I'll say, well, then apologise for those fuckers using your name wrongly and correct the issue.
Yeah.
And we'll all be friends and I'll come and visit you at one of your ice rinks. With Rick Wakeman, it's an oddity because he turned out to be best mates of Norman Wisdom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Norman Wisdom is absolute love of my life when I was young and ill. Watching those films of his, they helped me get back to being a human being.
Yeah.
There's one fabulous film which I can't watch it without dying. I have to take a breather. He's in the hospital. It's just chaos from him. There's nothing wrong with me.
Well, my dad was always a huge fan of Laurel and Hardy. He loved them
Me,
dearly.
not so much, except I like Stan's look. I thought that was a very attractive piece of clothing and hairdo.
Yeah. Well, my old man said,
You can imagine how I grew up in the skinhead era.
well, my old man says he had the chance to go and see them in the 50s. He never went. He said he always regretted it.
Yeah, it's odd that, isn't it? So I never got to see Bob Monkhouse, but my brother did and
Oh,
told
I
me
saw him.
he said it was the dirtiest night he'd ever had to endure.
Oh, yeah, he was very quick. It was just unbelievable,
Yeah.
his repertoire.
Oh, isn't it? It's the speed of them. That's why I suppose him with the Fez. What's his name?
Tommy Cooper.
Yeah, he had a different approach completely.
Yeah.
Never finish a joke, and that would kill the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
It was both irritating and deliciously entertaining.
It's just
Fabulous.
it's
And the American versions, of course, Jack Benny. My God, I die for his films.
Yeah, yeah. Who's that American comedian that I think's brilliant? I can't think of his name now.
Please don't say Jack Benny.
No,
Lenny something, sorry.
well, there's
Doesn't
many
matter.
Bruce, isn't there?
There's plenty of them.
Yeah,
It's the ones that understand irony that I'll pay attention to, because that's what's lacking in American humour.
really.
And in fact, I think in the entire way Americans think, they don't realise sometimes that the bombast they're spouting is, you know, deeply ridiculous and nothing to do with the reality. I wish they
Yeah.
were aware of what the reality was and they were mimicking that and taking a piss of themselves. They
George
can't
Carling.
win.
That's it. George Carling. You know,
Oh, yeah.
he's
Oh, seen him live.
yeah. Well, he's
Yeah.
dead now, isn't he, George Carling? But
Yeah. He was at the Roundhouse. He was a Brinsley Swash gig or something mad like that. There was always 15 acts on, and somebody cancelled, and he said, "Oh, bring on an American comedian." Yeah, I can imagine the zoned out hippie mob with this, but he was brilliant,
yeah, yeah,
just on it,
yeah,
accurately, and seen the fun and the sense of everything. Yeah, my kind of people's that.
yeah. Why do you think you didn't get the role in Quadrophenia, despite being endorsed by Pete Townsend?
I was obviously too handsome.
That must have been, that was it.
No, I was inexperienced.
Uh-huh.
Let's be honest, you know. It's bloody like, as far as like the money people were concerned, it's what you want to put a pop star in there for. He'll ruin everything. And then they end up with Sting. A man, oh God bless him, he really cannot act, really cannot.
Right, right.
You're going to
So,
get the hardest thing in the world. You're up on stage, you are yourself. That's not an act. That's coming from inside. It's that explosion. And very hard to put yourself in the frame of another human being. And indeed, why would we want to? Is that you get one chance in life to absolutely scream, yell, and shout your inner most serious thoughts and complexities. Why would you want to be somebody else then? So, yeah, I agree with her. I'd have probably been too selfish.
yeah, you've got a lot of good things to say about Pete Townsend, though, haven't you?
Oh, love him. Wonderful man.
Yeah,
Very, very kind, very generous, did a lot for the music scene and did it unknowingly to the public. It's people that pull strings and help bands along and don't want a reward for it. That, you know, proper people is
yeah,
Pete.
yeah.
Whereas I make us so annoyed. I gave him a new nickname. Yeah, Pedophile Townsend.
Oh no.
Oh,
You'll,
yeah.
you'll get me in trouble with YouTube now.
Well, he was going through a thing there where he was researching a book, apparently, and like the authorities that be. This is around the time of the Gary Glitter expose.
Yeah.
And I hoped and prayed that Pete wouldn't take it wrongly, and he didn't.
Good, good. Well, let's see.
No harm. But you know, I mean, that's true friends, really. Without speaking to each other for years and years and years, I'd count him as a true friend because
Yeah,
he gets it.
yeah, yeah. A lot of those early Who records, he touches upon the theme of abuse and things like that. Quick One While He's Away.
Yeah,
Tommy, of course, as well. So these are
yeah,
obviously demons
yeah,
from his own life, I
yeah,
suspect.
yeah. Oh, he's got plenty of justification for research.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
You know, something wicked happened there when he was younger,
Hmm.
and well, there's only one way to deal with like bad experiences, and that's to
Smash up your
shout
instruments.
them out, to bring
Yeah,
them out, and
yeah.
share them, and find out that you're not alone after all.
I suppose. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Glenn Matlock says that the song No Future was changed to God Save the Queen to capitalize on the forthcoming Jubilee celebrations. If that's
That should
true,
be,
that'd be
but
Malcolm's idea.
no, no, it's an absolute nonsense. Revisionaries, you know, get out of it. It's
Yeah,
a song he hated and didn't want to perform live, which is why we split with him.
right,
He always thought of that song as Nazism,
right.
right? It couldn't be more wrong. It's exactly the opposite of that.
Hmm.
Right? Hated the song. And well, I've heard since he's been saying that they've changed the lyrics to "God Save the King."
Well,
Big fucking deal. It's
yeah.
still karaoke what you're getting up to at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I was going to ask you about that because the Pistols have gone out with Frank Carter on vocals. Do you feel the spirit the band is missing without you at the front of it?
I wrote the fucking songs, didn't I?
Hmm.
You know, I gave them the image as the front man. Uh, I am the voice what made the whole world sing. And now you're going out, yeah, as they did the year before with Billy Idol. It's just karaoke, really.
Yeah, yeah,
I would love to be embarrassed by high quality songwriting from them. They've had long enough to get that together now, haven't they?
yeah.
Right? But no,
Mm.
they profess their hatred for me, but they can't live without me.
Yeah.
I am the punishment that goes on giving.
I've um
But it is.
I've got one more question for you, John. It's a question I ask everybody actually, and that is Frank Zappa said jazz isn't dead, it just smells funny. With rock and roll bands now, with rock and roll bands now, many of them miming and playing to backing tracks. How healthy then is
Yeah,
rock and roll?
yeah. I'd much rather any old time the singer be slightly off key but live.
Yeah,
Because they're expressing an atmosphere, and there is no such thing as in tune at that point. You have to be in tune with the environment,
yeah, yeah.
and it's difficult up there for any singer to pitch perfectly. And the ones that do, I'm always suspect that there's auto tune or some kind of forgery going on. I'm disgusted with those folk.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's very, very serious fraudulence,
Yeah.
right? And should not be tolerated lightly. There's not enough grief to be unloaded on those lazy good for nothings. Is they
Absolutely.
make it harder for real singers.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have some sympathy then with the point that Gene Simmons makes that rock is dead?
It is for him.
Yeah. Well, there's been
He's
a controversy with
he's a controversial figure because he tends to just be blatant about his love of commercialism,
yeah,
and so I find that absolutely fine. He turned anything into a key ring, a t-shirt, or a necklace in a heartbeat. That's his game and his world, and he's a businessman, and so
yeah,
I've got no problems with it. It's when bands try to sneak it out under the table and pretend that they're indifferent to such things.
sure.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
Deception. But absolute outright bravado about his stance in life. Accolades.
yeah, absolutely.
There was a funny moment with them, and it was Pill. We were just about 5, 6 years ago, maybe. We were rehearsing in America, in Los Angeles, on Highland, I think it was, where they were in the studio opposite. And the noise was really, really bad coming out. It was hopelessly just.
When would this have been? What year would this have been?
Oh, I just 10 years back, say. I
Mhm.
said six, but I'm not sure. But I remember them there. And I met some of them once when I went to see Alice Cooper live. Alice wanted to meet me.
Oh, wow. What was that like
Vince,
meeting Alice Cooper?
Vince, as we know him.
Yes, Vincent Furnier.
He was the most magnificent, friendliest, down to earth fella you could
Yeah.
ever waltz into. Absolutely, genuinely
Nice fella.
truthful about the theatricals and what fun they were, and his Presbyterian background and his preacher father, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just I soaked it up like a sponge. It's very, very generous emotionally, that man.
Well, he's a born again Christian now, isn't he? I think.
Kiss were there. Some of Kiss were there, and I think it was the guitarist. It's hard to know which is which, really, in that lot. They even wear their makeup off stage
Yeah.
at rehearsals. but they were trying to be sarcastic. Oh, what's he doing here? So he let them have it.
What
You
Kiss
know,
were being sniffy
here's
about
my
you being
get.
there?
Yeah, yeah, they were being very snooty about it. I found this most of my life, actually. There's very few bands that have been like friendly, open, and generous with me.
Well,
I,
Kiss are
it's
hardly Mantovani, are they?
no, but they're still snobby.
All right.
I'm sorry, snobbishness like knows no boundaries.
Wow. Makes it, I suppose,
And there's a snobbishness, of course, of we make more money than you, therefore we must be better. But
oh dear.
you get it a lot, and I've always wanted a sense of camaraderie in music that we shouldn't view each other as competition, but you can't kill it, man. It's the disease that permeates from regular society
Mhm.
into a zone that should be free of it.
Yeah.
But then again, who am I to lay down a manual for everyone to follow? I'd love to lay down with a manual, but that's a different thing.
I'll remember those videos.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, I've got to, I think it's make sure my little ones getting them ready for
Yes,
bed
sir.
and all that sort of stuff. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I want to plug your stuff that's going on, your the Pill tour, which starts in May. I'll
Mm.
repeat that, and
Mhm.
hopefully I'll catch
Yeah,
the.
we've found a new drummer because Bruce can't do this tour.
Oh
So
dear.
yeah, yeah, just some domestic issue that he can't resolve easily, and you can't go on tour with that.
No, no.
So we've had to find a replacement in a guy called Mark. Sorry, I can't remember his second name. Can barely remember mine, but he's wonderful, and it opens us up now because we could get rid of a lot of the technology, which I was beginning to feel live was taking over
Right.
and limiting me to mathematical stanzas rather than free form and feely good. So
Yeah.
Pill will get back to his basic fucking hard as nails.
Yeah. Well,
But
that kicks off in May.
to it. So there you go. So yippee yo! Oh, and of course we'll be writing our album while on tour because
Okay.
that's you've got to save money somehow, ain't you, my fun?
Well, a lot of great albums are written on the road, weren't they?
I think so. Most
Yeah.
of ours.
And your solo tour, of course, that begins in September. I could be wrong, could be right. I've already got my ticket for that, but I will be getting a ticket for Pill. Um, I'll probably at Lincoln. I think that's quite close to me. I might go that way and see you there. Anyway,
One
John.
of the more subdued events.
Anyway, John, thank you so
You
much.
must come and say hello, by the way.
What at the
Yeah,
Pill gig?
anywhere you turn up, just say hello because I just think you're one of the world's fucking driest fun blokes.
Well, as I said before, a lot of people who watch the videos don't get that a lot of it's ironic and a bit dry.
Yeah,
I get a lot of shit in the comments, I think,
yeah, yeah.
but so what?
Narcissists. I bought the CD of Madman Across the Water recently,
All right.
just to see if what it reminded. Wow, I didn't realise how high he sung then.
Yeah, yeah, he had an incredible voice back in the day.
Yeah, and how the mixes. I could hear Dave Bowie orchestrations going on back there, and T Rex, and how
Mm.
very ssimilar they all were
They were,
in their
yeah.
productions. It was quite a fascinating journey that night.
Yeah, well, Elton, I think it was booze and drugs that did his voice, I think, over the years. But and just getting old, I suppose, wear and tear, I guess.
Oh no, your voice is never going to stay the same.
No, but his voice on those early records is just incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
My favorite is that American album he did, because Bernie Taupin, he was a big fan of America, wasn't they? Did that
yeah,
album, what's it called? Tumbleweed Connection.
yes,
That's the one.
yes,
Ballad
yeah.
of a Well-Known Gun or something on there. Great song.
It's just very dramatic and beautiful. Again, you go into a trance.
Yeah, I mean it's just absolutely not the arrangements, but combined with that voice, it's just
Stunning.
Yeah, stunning, stunning.
Stunning. And again, I seen him live I was very young, and that was again at the Roundhouse. It was a very, very important venue for me.
Yeah, but that was seeing Elton John in his prime, I suspect, when um
Just him and the piano and
yeah.
a bit of a drum kit and whatever they could hustle out of the other bands. And but the Roundhouse was 15 to 20 acts, starting at midday on a Sunday and ending when the last band decided to turn up.
Yeah.
I listened to so much differences in musical styles and tastes in that period, and that was my top venue. It was
It's funny.
incredibly influential.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, it's always said that punk was a kind of a reaction against progressive rock. Has your feelings about bands like Yes and Genesis sort of softened over the years?
No, just that they went into too elaborate student bullshit.
Hmm.
Oh, the preciousness of it all. That's what drove me crazy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, the Emerson, Lake and Palmer used to drive me nuts.
yeah,
But I've met Keith Emerson before he died, and I found him to be a really, really interesting fella, and I really liked him.
yeah,
And I'm glad I spoke to him before he died.
yeah. That was
Like,
tragic, wasn't
it,
it?
well, it was very important to me because it altered my perceptions and the hatred withered.
Mhm.
You
I've
know,
never gotten on with it at ELP.
when you know the personalities behind it,
Yeah,
it's such a clue that you've cut yourself off from before.
yeah, yeah.
Prejudice is a dreadful thing.
And what about the Stones? Because you've said some harsh things about them in the past.
Only because they deserve it.
Well, they're still
But
going.
Exile of Main Street is heaven to me.
Yeah,
There's just one side that's just absolute. If I want a ferociously entertaining evening,
yeah.
on it goes.
We talk about a murky production, Exile on Main Street. It's
Yeah, but it's beautifully atmospheric.
yeah, yeah.
It absolutely reeks of whiskey and smoke-filled small clubs in seedy basements.
Yeah. Well, it was all
An
in a
amazing
seedy basement, wasn't it?
achievement. An amazing achievement to get
It
that
was.
vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the album that followed it was a bit too glossy after that, wasn't it? In fact, many
Yeah,
people feel the Stones kind of went downhill after Exile.
yeah. Well, didn't they just win a Grammy for Best Rock Album?
Yeah, the last one, wasn't
Oh my God. Don't make me angry.
it? Anger is an energy. Anger is an energy.
Or you make me angry. That's another Pill song.
Yeah.
It's just really funny when I heard it. I felt.
There's the production on that new album, it feels a bit too glossy, really. I just think the Stones they're great
It's
when
that
they're sloppy
dangerous
and
territory where the drum kits are really just machinery and
yeah,
there's just no emotion in it. And thank God Bruce has got a domestic problem because we might have slipped into it.
yeah. Oh, we lost Charlie, didn't we? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Charlie Watts passed away.
Yeah, he was a big influence on Paul Cook. I'm always like was confused about that at first. Paul pointed out is the sheer timing.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be flowery and all over the place, just the precision.
Mm.
And that's really how you would describe Paul Cook's drumming.
Yeah.
Limited and beautifully well done.
And what do you think of the chaos and clatter of Keith Moon's drumming?
Absolutely entertaining,
Uh-huh.
right? And kind of poignant in what the Who were up to. I love them live. Oh my God. Barbara Riley and things like that. That song just oozed atmosphere live. So it was important that he bang and clatter away back there
Yeah.
while Roger was so precisely brilliant with his delivery.
Yeah.
And Pete could spread his legs and jump around with da-das.
Well,
And
I,
Entwistle being so motionless as to the point where you swear he was frozen. And it worked, you know? All those differences made it entertaining to look at.
I always felt the Who shouldn't work really, but somehow they do. But incredibly well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. There's four exact opposites made a perfect marriage.
Well, Bill Bruford, I think there's a quote that's attributed to Bill Bruford, and he said, Keith Moon isn't the drummer, he just hits things. I don't know if he said it
Yeah.
or not, it's attributed to
Oh, you wicked bitch. All right, sir. Peace and love. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, I'll let you get
But
your
now
phone call.
this might be the highway open up. So I might get some painkillers for this, which is killing me.
All the best then,
Oh,
John. Thank you so
please
much.
tell everyone how I endured the agony of an abscess and didn't moan about it. Not at all twice.
Well, abscess makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cheers.
all the best, John. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right.